Liam had always been a creature of habit. Every morning, he woke up to the same rhythm, the hum of orbital station Sigma-9, the faint scent of recycled air, and the gentle vibration of the station's engines beneath his feet. Life on the station was orderly, predictable, and safe. He liked it that way. But this morning, as he stepped out of his small apartment, he noticed something unusual. The door to his neighbor's room was wide open, and a strange figure stood there waiting. The figure was Xylar, Liam's neighbor. Xylar wasn't human, of course. Sigma-9 was home to dozens of species from across the galaxy, each with its own strange quirks and appearances. Xylar was tall and thin, with shimmering blue skin and long, delicate limbs. His large, faceted eyes reflected the station's lights in a way that made Liam feel like he was looking at a living crystal. But it wasn't Xylar's appearance that surprised Liam, it was his energy. "Liam," Xylar called, his voice a mixture of musical tones that somehow still sounded like English. "You must come with me. Spend the night here." Liam blinked. "Wait, what? Spend the night here?" His mind raced. He hadn't planned on visiting anyone, much less his neighbor, and certainly not for a night. "Then, where am I sleeping?" he asked, hoping he wasn't missing some obvious hint. Xylar smiled, or at least, Liam assumed it was a smile. "Ah, that part is flexible," he said cryptically. "Come, I will show you." Before Liam could protest, Xylar reached out with one of his long, slender arms and gently pulled him toward the hallway. Liam stumbled slightly, caught himself, and followed, curiosity battling his instinct for caution. He had seen enough of Xylar's eccentricities to know that saying no was rarely an option. The corridor outside Liam's apartment felt different than usual. The walls shimmered faintly, reflecting his own image in fractured patterns. He noticed other neighbors peeking from their doors, watching him and Xylar with curiosity. Some of them had shapes and colors Liam had never seen before: tentacles, glowing patches, and even floating appendages. He wondered what they thought of him. Humans were still rare on Sigma-9, and humans weren't exactly known for blending in. Xylar led him to a side door Liam had never noticed before. Even though he had walked past this hall hundreds of times, it was small and plain, almost invisible against the wall. But as soon as Xylar touched it, the door shimmered and opened silently. Inside, Liam saw nothing. Or at least, nothing he could recognize immediately. The room was empty, but not in a boring way. The walls were smooth, reflective, and seemed to ripple like liquid when he moved. The floor didn't feel solid in the usual sense. It had a faint bounce, almost as if it were alive. Soft lights floated in the air without any visible source. Liam took a cautious step forward, his curiosity now overtaking his hesitation. "Where exactly is this?" he asked, glancing at Xylar. "This is my habitat," Xylar replied. "It is adaptive. It changes according to the species inside. For you, it will be comfortable. But you must explore. That is how you understand it." Liam raised an eyebrow. "Explore? I just wanted to know where I'd sleep." Xylar laughed, a soft, melodic sound that made Liam smile despite himself. "Ah, humans are always so literal," he said. "But you will see. You sleep as you like, and the room will adjust." Liam looked around, unsure whether he was being invited or tested. He took another step, and felt the floor shift slightly beneath his weight. A faint hum filled the room, and a warm breeze seemed to brush against him. It smelled faintly of Earth, something he hadn't expected on a space station. "See?" Xylar said, noticing Liam's cautious movements. "The room reacts to you. It learns what you need." Liam laughed softly. "I've read about adaptive habitats, but this is something else." He moved to one corner of the room, touching the wall. It felt like cool glass, but when his fingers pressed, it gave slightly, like a memory foam mattress. His eyes widened. "It's soft?" "Indeed," Xylar said. soft, warm, and ready for sleep. But first, explore. Liam's curiosity won. He started walking around, stepping onto different patches of floor. Each area felt different. One section was warm and cushioned, another slightly bouncy, another cool and firm. He discovered a floating light that followed him as he moved, illuminating his path. The more he moved, the more he realized that the room seemed to anticipate him, shifting subtly to his presence. "This is incredible," he muttered. "It's like it knows me." Xylar's eyes glimmered. "It does. It learns what you like and adapts accordingly. But it also tests you." "Tests me?" Liam asked, now both intrigued and slightly nervous. "Yes," Xylar said simply. "To see if a human can adapt. Humans are clever, yes? Curious, inventive, resourceful. But you must prove it." Liam paused. "Prove it? How?" Before Xylar could answer, the floor beneath Liam shifted unexpectedly. A gentle but firm push sent him bouncing slightly before he landed safely on another patch of the floor, now slightly tilted. He laughed, partly out of surprise and partly out of amusement. Okay, so this room can move?" "Yes," Xylar said. "It changes to challenge you, to teach you. But do not worry. You will not be harmed. Only tested." Liam took a deep breath and decided to embrace it. "All right. Room," he muttered, half to himself. "Let's see what you've got." The lights dimmed slightly, and soft hums echoed around him. Shapes began forming on the walls, shifting patterns that seemed like puzzles, diagrams, or instructions. Though not in any language he knew, yet, instinctively, his mind started recognizing patterns, testing solutions, and improvising. He pressed a panel here, stepped on a glowing tile there, and slowly realized that the room was responding to him not just physically, but mentally. Xylar watched with quiet approval. "Humans learn fast," he said softly. "Faster than many species I know. That is why I chose you." Liam paused for a moment, catching his breath. "Chose me for what?" "To show the others," Xylar said. "Your kind is unique. Your adaptability is remarkable. But you must continue. The night is long." Liam grinned, feeling a spark of excitement. He had expected an ordinary evening, maybe a casual conversation. But this was something else entirely. He was part of something bigger, a test, a learning experience, and he was human. That fact alone filled him with quiet pride. As the room shifted beneath him again, forming a gentle slope that led to a soft, glowing platform, Liam realized something important. He had no idea where he would actually sleep tonight. And yet, for the first time in a long time, he didn't mind. "This is going to be interesting," he said aloud, more to himself than to Xylar. The alien only nodded, his eyes sparkling with amusement and something like admiration. And so, the night began. Not with a bed, not with a blanket, but with a room that challenged him, a neighbor who believed in him, and a universe that was suddenly far more alive than he had ever imagined. Little did Liam know, this was only the beginning. The night promised puzzles, surprises, and revelations, chances to prove that humans, in all their curiosity, humor, and ingenuity, were truly a force to be reckoned with in the cosmos. The room seemed alive. Liam had barely gotten used to the soft, glowing floor and the floating lights when he realized that every step he took changed the shape of the habitat. A gentle slope became a small platform, a glowing tile sank slightly under his weight, and a patch of wall rippled like liquid when he brushed against it. "This is unbelievable," Liam muttered. He had studied adaptive habitats in theory during his engineering courses back on Earth, but nothing he had imagined came close to this. The room didn't just respond, it interacted. It almost had a personality, playful and curious, like it wanted to see what he would do next. Xylar floated nearby, watching him with calm eyes. "You are beginning to understand," the alien said. The habitat is designed for many species. Humans are particular. It must adjust to you. Liam raised an eyebrow. Particular? You mean picky? Xylar tilted his head. Yes. Your kind is precise. You observe, you question, and you adapt in ways that are unusual for other species. That is why this test is necessary. A test? Liam asked, shaking his head with a small laugh. I thought this was just a place to spend the night. Xylar's eyes shimmered. The night is long, human. And in a long night, one learns much. The room will help you, yes. But it will also challenge you. Liam swallowed nervously. Challenges were fine in theory. Puzzles, codes, and designs, he loved those. But the floor moving under him and the walls shifting unpredictably, that was a whole new level. He looked around, trying to find a safe area to stand still. But the room seemed to refuse stillness. Every step he tried to hold steady caused the environment to ripple. All right, Liam muttered. Let's see what you've got. He moved toward a glowing panel embedded in one wall. When he touched it, the wall rippled and a faint projection appeared. It was a series of glowing symbols that shifted continuously. Liam frowned, staring at them. They didn't make any sense at first, but something about the patterns felt familiar. Xylar floated closer. Do not worry if you do not understand at first. Humans are clever. You will find the pattern. Liam took a deep breath. He studied the symbols, looking for repetition, sequence, anything his mind could grasp. Slowly, he realized that the shapes moved like a puzzle, responding to the rhythm of his attention. He reached out, pressing one of the glowing symbols, and immediately another set of symbols changed. Ah! Liam exclaimed. It's like a living puzzle. Xylar nodded. Yes. The habitat adjusts based on your interaction. It watches, it learns, and it guides. But it also tests. Not all humans succeed. Liam's heart raced. He had always prided himself on being adaptable. But the idea of a room designed to challenge him was exciting. He pressed another symbol. The floor beneath him shifted, tilting slightly, and a soft hum filled the air. A platform rose slowly, revealing what looked like a small ladder of glowing steps. Interesting, Liam said. He stepped onto the first step. It held his weight. The next one. Also, with every careful movement, the platform rose higher, leading him toward a floating balcony-like structure at the center of the room. He reached the top and looked down. The floor below had transformed into a gentle slope, leading back to the glowing tiles he had first explored. This is incredible, Liam whispered. It's like it wants me to move. But it's not dangerous. Xylar's voice was calm but firm. You see, you are already adapting. Most species panic when the floor shifts. Humans, you observe first, then act. That is why you are special. Liam smiled. Special. He liked the sound of that. He moved carefully down the slope, testing each step. The habitat responded instantly, softening where he stepped, lighting a path ahead. He realized that the room was not only interactive, it was responsive. It could almost predict his needs. As he moved, Liam noticed another feature. Small, floating platforms appeared, hovering just above the ground. Each one was a different shape, some flat, some curved, some even spinning slowly. A floating holographic projection appeared nearby, showing a shape he recognized. A triangle with 3 dots in a line. Curiosity piqued. Liam stepped onto one of the spinning platforms. The moment his foot touched it, the shape in the projection shifted, matching the angle of the platform beneath him. He laughed. Okay. Xylar floated closer. You learn quickly. Humans are remarkable for this reason. But the night is not yet complete. You will be tested further. Further? Liam asked, feeling a mix of excitement and slight anxiety. What else does this room do? Zylar's faceted eyes seemed to sparkle. Observe. The floor beneath Liam shifted again, tilting gently, and he slid forward slightly but softly, almost like a gentle push rather than a fall. He landed on a section of the floor that glowed faintly green. A low hum filled the air. The walls rippled, forming shapes that resembled strange, alien machinery. Holographic diagrams floated in front of him. "This is a workshop?" Liam asked. He could see tools floating around. Some looked like human tools, some completely alien, and some he had never seen before. "Yes," Zylar said. "The habitat adapts for creativity. Humans are problem solvers. You will need that skill tonight." Liam approached one of the floating devices. It looked like a small cube, glowing faintly. He pressed a panel, and it opened, revealing a series of interlocking pieces. Instinctively, he began to move them, trying different combinations. The cube hummed softly, glowing brighter with each correct movement. "This is fun," Liam said. "It's like a puzzle toy, only alive." Zylar's eyes gleamed. "Exactly. The room encourages your kind. It responds to curiosity, imagination, and persistence. Many other species would struggle. You thrive." Liam smiled, feeling pride swell inside him. He had always known humans were clever, but seeing it here, in an alien habitat, was validating. Every movement, every step, every experiment with the floating devices was met with immediate response. The room was teaching him and learning from him at the same time. Hours seemed to pass in minutes. Liam explored every corner, testing tiles, platforms, and floating tools. The habitat shifted constantly, responding to his thoughts and actions. Each new challenge was met with a mixture of problem-solving, trial and error, and occasional luck. He laughed at himself when a spinning platform sent him sliding gently into a pile of soft, glowing cubes. "This is insane," he said, picking himself up. "I can't believe I'm actually enjoying this." Zylar watched quietly, letting Liam explore. "Your kind has resilience. Even when surprised, even when challenged, you adapt. That is why humans are unique." Liam paused, considering the words. "Unique, huh?" he said, half to himself. Maybe that's not a bad thing. As the night deepened, the habitat shifted again. The glowing platforms merged into a larger structure, forming what looked like a small bridge over a pool of softly glowing light. Liam stepped onto it carefully. The light pulsed gently beneath him. He felt a strange calm, unlike anything he had experienced on Sigma 9. "This is peaceful," he said, looking down at the light. "Even with all the puzzles and changes, there's balance." Zylar floated beside him. "The habitat reflects your needs. You are learning not only to solve, but to sense. Humans have intuition that many species lack. You feel patterns. You see connections. You understand space in ways others cannot." Liam nodded, feeling a mixture of awe and excitement. He had faced many challenges in life, but nothing like this. The habitat was teaching him more than puzzles. It was teaching him about himself, about human adaptability, and about the power of curiosity. Finally, as the first hint of Sigma 9's artificial sunrise began to glow faintly through the habitat's invisible ceiling, Liam realized he was no longer worried about where he would sleep. The room had adapted perfectly. A soft, glowing platform had appeared, shaped like a gentle hammock. It conformed to his body as he lay down. Warm, secure, and surprisingly comfortable. "All right," Liam whispered, settling in. "I think I'm ready for the next part, whatever that is." Zylar nodded. "Rest, human. The night has tested you, but tomorrow brings new challenges. You will learn even more, and you will teach others by being human." Liam smiled, closing his eyes. For the first time, he felt fully at home on Sigma 9. Surrounded by challenges, light, and possibility, the adaptive habitat had proven one thing. Humans were clever, resilient, and endlessly curious, and in the vastness of the universe, that made them extraordinary. The soft glow of the adaptive habitat lingered around Liam as he stretched and yawned. Sleep had been surprisingly comfortable. The hammock-like platform had conformed perfectly to his body, cradling him as though it had known exactly how he liked to rest. He opened his eyes to see Xylar floating nearby, watching patiently. "Good morning, human," Xylar said. His voice, melodic and calm, seemed to echo slightly against the softly shifting walls. "You slept well?" Liam sat up, rubbing his eyes. "Better than I expected," he admitted. "I was worried this place might be strange, but it's incredible, really. I didn't know a room could do this." Xylar tilted his head. "It is not just a room. It is a test. And a teacher. You have begun to understand it. But the next phase is more challenging. Are you ready?" Liam grinned. "I didn't come this far to back out now. Let's do it." Immediately, the habitat seemed to respond to his words. The floor beneath him shifted, forming a gentle slope that led to a central platform. Soft, glowing symbols appeared on the walls, much like the puzzles from last night, but this time, they moved faster, more complexly. Liam realized that the room was escalating its challenge. "All right," he muttered. "Let's see what you've got this time." The first challenge was simple. Or at least it seemed so. A series of floating tiles hovered above a shallow pool of glowing liquid. Each tile had a symbol etched into its surface. Liam stepped onto the first tile. It was solid, stable, and perfectly fine. But the next tile shifted slightly as he stepped on it, tilting under his weight. He adjusted quickly, planting his feet carefully, and made it to the third tile. A soft chime sounded. The tiles rotated and rearranged themselves into a new pattern. Liam's heart raced. He realized that the room wasn't just testing his physical balance, it was testing his observation and problem-solving. "This is fun," he muttered, more to himself than to Xylar. "It's like a game, but alive." Xylar's faceted eyes shimmered. "Humans excel at games that require creativity and adaptation. Watch closely, observe patterns, and think quickly. That is your strength." Liam nodded, focusing entirely on the tiles. He noticed that the glowing symbols on each tile pulsed slightly, almost like they were giving hints. He adjusted his steps according to the rhythm of the pulses, finding that timing was just as important as balance. Slowly, steadily, he moved across the floating tiles. Each correct step caused the next tile to glow brighter, guiding him toward the platform at the other side of the pool. When he reached it, the platform shifted, forming a bridge that led to a wall with moving holographic diagrams. Liam stared at the patterns, trying to make sense of them. They were not like any language he knew. Instead, they resembled shapes, rotations, and sequences. "Looks like another puzzle," Liam muttered. He touched one of the symbols. Immediately, the others shifted, rearranging themselves. He pressed another, and a soft hum responded, confirming that he had made a correct move. He smiled. "I get it," he said. "This is like code, patterns, logic. I can do this." Hours passed, or at least it felt like hours. The room shifted constantly, presenting new challenges. Liam discovered that some puzzles required physical coordination, others required observation, and a few demanded improvisation. One sequence of glowing blocks seemed impossible at first, tilting and spinning in ways that made him almost fall. But he remembered his own engineering lessons. Combining logic and intuition, he built a mental map, predicting the movements of the blocks, and successfully navigated the challenge. Xylar floated nearby, observing silently. "Yes. You adapt quickly. Humans are persistent, clever, and intuitive. That is why you succeed where many others would fail." "Thanks," Liam said with a grin. "I guess all those years of building, tinkering, and messing with machines have finally paid off." Then came the next test. The floor beneath him shifted, forming a series of narrow platforms suspended over a deep pool of soft glowing light. Liam felt a thrill of excitement and anxiety. He had to jump from platform to platform, timing his leaps carefully. The platforms moved slightly as he landed, requiring him to adjust mid-step. "This is tricky," he muttered, taking a deep breath. But he reminded himself, humans were adaptable. Observation, timing, and creativity. These were his strengths. He leaped carefully, landing precisely on each platform, and finally reached a wider, stable platform. The habitat responded immediately. The walls rippled, forming an intricate pattern of rotating shapes and floating orbs. Liam realized this was more than a physical test, it was a mental challenge. The orbs emitted pulses of light in a sequence that seemed random at first. He needed to touch them in the correct order to unlock the next part of the room. Liam watched, analyzing the rhythm. He noticed subtle repetitions, slight changes in color and pulse, and used them to predict the correct sequence. He touched the first orb, then the second, then the third. The orbs glowed brighter and floated toward the wall, forming a perfect pattern. A soft chime confirmed his success. "Humans are remarkable," Xylar said quietly. "Your intuition and problem-solving are unmatched. Many species cannot perceive patterns this way." Liam felt a warm sense of pride. He had never thought of himself as special, but seeing how his human skills worked in this alien habitat was humbling. "I guess humans do have a few tricks," he said, smiling. The habitat wasn't finished. Next, a series of floating cubes appeared, each one spinning at different speeds and angles. Liam realized that these were tools, not puzzles. He needed to use them creatively to reach the higher platforms. Some cubes had flat surfaces, others were rounded or slanted. He stacked them, balanced them, and jumped from one to another, careful not to disturb the fragile arrangement. It took patience, focus, and trial and error, but eventually, he made it to the top. From there, he could see the entire room in a new perspective. The shifting platforms, glowing tiles, floating orbs, and interactive tools combined to create a vast, dynamic environment that felt alive. Liam's heart raced. "This is amazing," he whispered. "It's like the room is watching me, learning from me, and adapting at the same time." Xylar's eyes shimmered. "It is. You are not just surviving. You are thriving. Humans are clever, persistent, and adaptable. You embody these traits fully." As Liam caught his breath, a final challenge appeared. The floor beneath him transformed into a gentle spiral staircase, leading to a floating observation platform at the center of the habitat. Liam climbed carefully, noticing that the glowing walls now displayed abstract symbols that seemed to tell a story. He realized that each puzzle, each challenge, had been a step in that story, showing how humans think, learn, and overcome obstacles. When he reached the top, the entire room seemed to glow softly around him. Liam looked down and felt a deep sense of accomplishment. He had navigated the floating tiles, solved the holographic puzzles, balanced on moving platforms, and improvised with floating cubes. He had adapted, observed, and learned. "This is incredible," he said, turning to Xylar. I did it, didn't I?" Xylar's eyes sparkled. "Yes. Human. You have completed the tests. You have proven your adaptability, creativity, and intelligence. You have shown what humans are capable of." Liam laughed softly, feeling a mix of relief and pride. "Now," Xylar said, "you rest. You reflect. And soon others will see what you have accomplished. Humans are remarkable. You will remind all of Sigma 9 of that fact." Liam smiled, lying down on a newly formed glowing platform that shaped itself perfectly to his body. He closed his eyes, feeling the room settle around him like a protective cocoon. For the first time, he understood why Xylar had pulled him here. This wasn't just about spending a night in a neighbor's apartment. It was about proving the resilience, intelligence, and ingenuity of humanity itself. And as he drifted off, he realized that this night, this strange, challenging, beautiful night, was only the beginning. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new discoveries, and new chances to show the universe what humans could do. When Liam woke the next morning, the habitat had changed again. The soft, glowing platform where he had slept had dissolved into the floor, and the room shimmered with new shapes and colors. The tiles and platforms from the previous night had rearranged themselves into smooth pathways that seemed to lead toward a central chamber. Liam stretched and rubbed his eyes, marveling once again at how alive the room felt. Xylar was waiting for him, floating gracefully near the entrance to the new chamber. "Good morning, human," Xylar said. "You have performed well, but it is time you understand why this night was necessary." Liam blinked. "Why? Necessary?" he asked, curious but cautious. He had guessed that the room was a test, but he hadn't understood the full purpose. Xylar's eyes sparkled like crystal facets. "The habitat is not just a room. It is an experiment, a place where species interact, learn, and grow. Many species cannot adapt quickly to change. They cannot improvise or create when challenges arise. Humans, you are different." Liam frowned slightly. "Different? How?" "You are resourceful, inventive, and persistent. You think in ways that other species cannot. You use observation, creativity, and logic together. You take risks when necessary, and you learn from mistakes quickly. That is why I invited you here." Liam's stomach tightened. "So, I wasn't just here for a sleepover?" he asked, laughing nervously. "No," Xylar said, tilting his head. "This was a demonstration. You were chosen to show the other inhabitants of Sigma 9 what humans are capable of. Your adaptability is exceptional, and it must be seen." Liam stared at Xylar. "You mean, all this, the puzzles, the moving floors, the floating platforms, it was a test?" Xylar nodded. "Yes. You have succeeded where many others would fail. Your success proves that humans are remarkable." Liam felt a rush of pride. For the first time, he truly understood what it meant to be human in a universe filled with alien species. He had always known humans were clever, but seeing it reflected in an environment designed by beings far more advanced in many ways was astonishing. As he walked toward the central chamber, Liam noticed other aliens appearing from the walls and corners of the habitat. They weren't intrusive, they simply floated and hovered, observing quietly. Some had tentacles, others had wings, and a few had shimmering, translucent skin that glowed softly. Each of them seemed curious, waiting to see how he would react. Liam realized that these were the other inhabitants of Sigma 9, the ones Xylar had mentioned. They were watching, learning, and perhaps judging. But Liam didn't feel fear. Instead, he felt determination. Humans had a reputation for ingenuity, creativity, and humor, and he intended to prove it. The central chamber was unlike anything Liam had seen before. Platforms floated in a circle, each one glowing faintly. In the center, a holographic sphere projected an image of Sigma 9, highlighting areas where humans and other species had lived and worked. The sphere pulsed softly, almost as if it were alive. Xylar gestured toward the sphere. "This is the community hub. It shows how species interact and adapt. Tonight, you have proven that humans are capable of thriving in any environment, no matter how strange or challenging." Liam stepped closer, examining the holographic sphere. He noticed that each time he moved, the sphere adjusted, highlighting patterns he hadn't noticed before. He realized that the habitat had not only tested him physically and mentally, but had also taught him about observation, patterns, and strategy. "You see," Xylar said, "humans are unique because you combine creativity with logic. You learn from mistakes, you improvise, you adapt. That is why you succeed." Liam smiled, feeling a warm sense of pride. I never thought humans were that remarkable," he admitted. "But seeing it here, it makes sense." Xylar nodded. And now, others will see it too. Your actions tonight will influence how the community views humans. You will remind them that your kind is clever, resilient, and indispensable. At that moment, one of the alien neighbors floated closer. They had multiple arms and softly glowing eyes, and they observed Liam with a mixture of curiosity and admiration. "I watched you," the alien said in a melodic voice. "Your skill and cleverness are impressive. Your kind is truly remarkable." Liam felt a mixture of pride and humility. He wasn't the strongest, the fastest, or the most powerful being on Sigma-9. But he had something that mattered just as much: human ingenuity. Another alien approached, this one with translucent wings that shimmered in the soft glow. "I have never seen anyone navigate the habitat so skillfully," they said. "Humans, you are adaptable in ways we cannot fully understand." Liam laughed softly. "I guess we do have a few tricks up our sleeves," he said. "Observation, experimentation, a little bit of patience, and maybe a lot of luck." The aliens laughed with him, though their laughter sounded like soft chimes and musical notes rather than human voices. Liam realized that humor, curiosity, and creativity were universal even if expressed differently by each species. Xylar floated to the center of the chamber. "Humans are not the strongest species, nor the most numerous. But you have qualities that make you invaluable: curiosity, resilience, and creativity. These are the traits that will help your kind thrive among the stars." Liam felt a sense of awe. The night had begun as a strange, mysterious invitation. Now, he understood the full purpose. It was not about sleep, or puzzles, or even the habitat itself. It was about showing the universe what humans could do, how they could adapt, learn, and thrive in any environment. He looked around at the other species, all watching him with interest and admiration. For the first time, he felt truly seen not just as an individual, but as a representative of humanity. "You've proven yourselves human," Xylar said softly. "And now, the community will remember. Humans are capable of extraordinary things. You have shown them what your kind can achieve." Liam smiled, feeling a mixture of pride, excitement, and responsibility. He realized that his actions tonight had a purpose far greater than he had imagined. He had not only survived a challenging night in an alien habitat, but he had also shown the universe the value of human ingenuity. As the central chamber shifted again, forming a new platform for him to stand on, Liam felt a gentle sense of accomplishment. He had faced challenges that seemed impossible at first, solved puzzles, navigated shifting platforms, and improvised with tools in ways that the habitat had never seen before. And in doing so, he had proven that humans were adaptable, clever, and resourceful, qualities that could not be taught, only lived. Xylar floated beside him. "Rest now, human. You have done well. But remember, this is only the beginning. The universe is vast, full of challenges and opportunities. And humans, you are ready." Liam looked around, feeling a sense of excitement for what lay ahead. The night had been strange, unpredictable, and challenging, but it had also been enlightening. He had learned about the habitat, about the other species, and most importantly, about himself and what it meant to be human. As the habitat settled into a soft glow, Liam realized that he had not only survived the night, but had also earned the respect of beings from across the galaxy. For the first time, he felt truly proud not just of himself, but of humanity as a whole. And as he drifted toward a platform that had reformed into a gentle resting area, Liam knew one thing for certain: humans were clever, adaptable, and resilient. And in the vastness of the universe, that made them extraordinary. He smiled, closing his eyes, ready for whatever adventures awaited him next. The revelation was clear. The night had been more than a test. It had been a celebration of human ingenuity, a reminder that humans had something special that no other species could replicate. And in that glowing, shifting habitat on Sigma-9, Liam finally understood what it meant to be human. Liam woke to a soft glow filling the adaptive habitat. The floating lights had settled into a calm pattern, and the floor beneath him felt steady and welcoming. The challenges of the previous night still lingered in his mind, the floating tiles, the spinning platforms, the puzzles and orbs that had tested every part of his curiosity, creativity, and observation. And yet, despite the difficulties, he felt. Xylar floated gracefully nearby. "Good morning, human," he said. "You have rested. The community awaits you." Liam blinked. "Community waits for me?" His curiosity was piqued. What do you mean?" "The other species," Xylar explained, gesturing with his long, delicate arm. "They have observed you. They have seen your adaptability, your cleverness, your perseverance. They wish to meet you, and to understand what makes humans extraordinary." Liam felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He had never considered himself a representative of humanity, but now it seemed that was exactly what he had become. He rose from the glowing platform and followed Xylar down a gently shifting path that led to the central chamber. As he entered, Liam's eyes widened. The chamber was filled with dozens of beings from across Sigma 9, hovering or standing on floating platforms. They all turned to him, watching intently. Some had shimmering skin, others multiple limbs, and some had shapes that defied description entirely. But all of them were curious, waiting to see how he would react. Liam swallowed and straightened his shoulders. "Hello," he said, his voice calm but confident. I'm Liam, and I'm human, and I think we're going to have a great conversation." The aliens reacted with soft musical tones, laughter, and gentle hums. It was not mocking, it was approval. The community had recognized something remarkable about humans, and Liam felt proud. Xylar stepped forward. "Humans are not the strongest species," he said, addressing the gathering, "nor the fastest, nor the most numerous. But they possess qualities that cannot be measured in physical strength alone. Curiosity, ingenuity, resilience, and creativity. These are the traits that allow them to adapt, survive, and thrive in ways few other species can." The chamber filled with soft hums of approval. Liam realized that the words weren't just for him, they were a statement to the entire Sigma 9 community. Humans were to be respected. Humans were to be valued, and Liam, in his small way, had helped convey that truth. One of the aliens, a tall figure with translucent wings that glowed faintly, floated closer. "I observed you last night," the alien said. "You navigated the challenges of this habitat with skill and patience. Your kind, you are clever, creative, and adaptable. We underestimated humans, and I am grateful to have witnessed your abilities." Liam smiled warmly. "Thank you. Honestly, I was just curious. I wanted to explore, solve problems, and see what this place could do. But I guess that curiosity helped me more than I realized." Another alien approached, this one with multiple limbs ending in soft, glowing pads. "Your improvisation is remarkable. You adapt in ways our species cannot. You think creatively while observing patterns simultaneously. That is extraordinary." Liam laughed softly. "I guess humans do have a few tricks. Observation, curiosity, and a bit of patience go a long way." Xylar nodded approvingly. "Exactly. And now the community understands. Humans are not to be underestimated. They are capable of remarkable things, not through raw strength, but through ingenuity, creativity, and adaptability." Liam felt a swell of pride. He had never thought of himself as extraordinary. Yet here he was, demonstrating the very qualities that made humans unique. He realized that humanity had something no other species could replicate, a combination of curiosity, resilience, and humor. Even in the face of uncertainty, humans learned, adapted, and thrived. The habitat shifted gently around him, forming a large central platform that floated above the glowing light of the chamber. It was as if the room itself was acknowledging his success, celebrating human ingenuity along with him. Liam stepped onto the platform and looked around. The aliens were watching, listening, and absorbing every detail of his movements. "This is incredible," Liam whispered to himself. "I never imagined humans could make this much of an impression." Liam whispered. "Also town. About wakes, about with you Zid." "Our wakes," our whispered. Zylar's voice came from beside him. "The habitat has always been designed to test and teach. But you have shown the true strength of humanity, and now the community has seen it as well." Liam felt a sense of responsibility. "So, what now?" he asked. "Now," Zylar replied, "you leave the habitat not just as an individual, but as a representative of your kind. You have proven what humans can do. Others will remember, and your kind will continue to show the universe that humans are clever, adaptable, and resilient." Liam smiled. I think I understand. It's not about me, it's about what humans can bring to the table." "Klusa." "Exactly," Zylar said. "And the universe has taken notice." Liam glanced around at the other aliens. He saw curiosity, admiration, and respect in their expressions. The community had witnessed something extraordinary, not a battle, not a display of power, but a demonstration of the human mind. Observation, creativity, improvisation, and adaptability, all traits that defined humanity, had shone brightly in the habitat. One of the winged aliens floated closer, tilting its head. "You have taught us much, human. Your actions show that even in strange, unpredictable environments, your kind can excel. That is inspiring." Liam laughed softly. "I'm glad you think so. I was just doing my best, honestly." Curiosity led the way. Another alien, whose skin shimmered like liquid glass, added, "Humans possess qualities that our species can only aspire to. You solve problems, adapt quickly, and learn from mistakes with elegance. You have reminded us all of the value of ingenuity." Liam's heart swelled. He had not expected such recognition. Yet it felt right. Humanity had always relied on creativity, resilience, and curiosity to survive and thrive. Here, on Sigma 9, that same spirit had been validated in the eyes of beings far different from him. Zylar gestured toward the floating central platform. "Humans are not here to compete with strength or numbers. They are here to innovate, to adapt, and to solve. That is why they will succeed in the cosmos. And you, Liam, have proven this truth." Liam smiled, feeling a deep sense of pride. "Then, we're ready," he said. "Humans are ready for the universe, for challenges, for whatever comes next." The habitat shimmered in agreement. Tiles, platforms, and glowing symbols shifted into a harmonious pattern. It was a celebration of adaptability, ingenuity, and the spirit of exploration. The aliens watched silently, absorbing the demonstration and understanding the message. Humans were clever, resilient, and essential in a universe full of unknowns. Liam turned to Zylar. "I guess this is what it feels like to represent humanity," he said, laughing softly. "Not by force, not by numbers, but by thinking, adapting, and staying curious." Zylar's eyes gleamed. "Indeed, human. That is the essence of your kind. Remember it always. Curiosity, ingenuity, resilience, these are your tools. With them, you will thrive." As the habitat settled into a calm, glowing state, Liam looked around at the assembled aliens once more. They were no longer just observers. They were witnesses to what humans could accomplish. He felt a sense of connection, of respect and understanding that crossed the boundaries of species, language, and form. Finally, Zylar gestured toward a floating pathway leading to the exit. "It is time to leave the habitat, human. But know this. You carry the spirit of humanity with you. Wherever you go, it will guide you, and it will remind others of the power of curiosity and ingenuity." Liam nodded. He stepped onto the pathway, feeling the habitat stabilize beneath him. Each step carried a sense of accomplishment, pride, and purpose. He had not only survived the challenges of the night, but he had also shown the universe what humans could do. As he reached the exit, the chamber filled with soft, approving hums. Liam turned to glance back one last time. The habitat shimmered like a living entity, alive with the memory of the challenges, tests, and triumphs of the past night. He smiled. "This is only the beginning," he whispered to himself. "Humans can do anything." With that, Liam stepped out of the adaptive habitat and into the wider world of Sigma 9, leaving behind a legacy of ingenuity, resilience, and adaptability. The community had seen what humans were capable of, and he had proven that even in the most unpredictable and strange environments, humans could not only survive, they could thrive. And in that moment, Liam felt the true pride of humanity. Not as a conqueror, not as the strongest, but as a species capable of thinking, adapting, creating, and inspiring. The universe was vast, full of challenges and mysteries, but humans were ready. For Liam, and for humanity, the message was clear. Curiosity, ingenuity, and resilience would always win.